Make time slow down. Hop up this merry-go-round. Out of this noisy old town. Find me some peace of mind. Tired of that business talk. People just blowing off smoke. Need a simple walk. Need me some peace of mind. Just a little peace of mind. And a little satisfaction. A little peace of mind. Satisfaction. You can fly private planes. You can drop your long fancy names. Play all those dumb silly games. Just give me my peace of mind. Don't need fancy cars. Don't give me those sweet fat cigars. I ain't no bad superstar. Just want me some peace of mind. Just a little peace of mind. And a little satisfaction. Just a little peace of mind. Satisfaction. Satisfaction. Gotta make time slow down and get off this merry-go-round and out of this noisy ass town and find me some peace of mind. Tired of that bullshit talk and people just blow and smoke. I need to take a simple walk. I need me some peace of mind. Just a little peace of mind. And a little satisfaction. A little peace of mind. Satisfaction. Ay, ay, ay. A little peace of mind. Oh, just a little satisfaction.
Wi-Fi off or what?
Hi, folks. My name is Conyer. This is the Odyssey of Conyer. Up close and personal, my voyage, journey, and many turns of fortune. Um, as I stated before, I like to go live because we never know what can happen. It comes from the top of the head and from straight from the heart. So I wrote a little outline just to keep me a little, so I don't bounce around too much. But tonight's conversation is fear versus faith and staying dialed in. The Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of nothing seen. One of the things that's very important is that, I live by the Bible. I live by words because we all live by words. Life, the power of life and death is in words. And for me, personally, I think it's pure poetry, God's poetry. So, further point than anything, but I want to talk about faith and fear and staying dialed in. I'll give you an example. You can't expect to watch, or you can't expect to watch. Let these portals, your ears, eyes, are portals. First of all, let's go back. These are portals. The ears and the eyes are portals that go straight to the soul. Maybe some of you don't know that. You just living vicariously day by day, which is okay. But you got to try to narrow. For me personally, I tried to narrow it down and try to figure out what was going on, why my mood was changing, why come I got in different situations, where did the depression comes from, where did the anxiety come from, where do all these feelings and all these vibes come from? What I really realized today, it's my input. What you put in is what you get out. You put garbage in, that's what you get. You put faith in, you put some hope optimistic in your ears, or keep looking at something that's worth your time, then you get a whole nother perspective on what life is. So it's not about what happens to you, it's about what you are doing and what you're allowing around you. You can't hang out with a negative friend and expect to feel good. So what I'm saying, you got to choose your friends. You got to choose everything. You got everything around you has to be a selection, a choice, not just something that just happens. Uh, sure, I'm impulsive. I must say that as I got older, I started being unimpulsive. I like being impulsive, and things just happen like this. But at the same time, I, it's about my digestion. What am I eating? What am I hearing? What am I taking in? Like all of us, we want peace of mind. Correct me if I'm wrong. And a little satisfaction won't hurt. So today we just gonna have some tea. Can we drink? Can we have some tea and just have a conversation? I ain't trying to preach to nobody and tell you what to do. I just want to drink with you and have some tea. Okay. Faith, fear. Fear has cousins. Envy, jealousy, uh, anxiety, depression. All these things come from fear. Faith has a lot of other has also has a family has some family members also. It's being satisfied with who you are and gratitude and actually waking up every morning with an optimistic view on hope. I rechanneled myself. I don't listen and watch these horror movies. I used to love horror movies. I used to love all of this crazy stuff. These are very important portals, folks. This is who we are, who we are. All we are is flesh attached to spirit. So if something gets in your spirit, it's hard to get it out. So my concept of rearranging my life, because I mean I've been through quite a bit. I took off a quite big chunk when I moved over here to Sweden and when I joined the military. Let me go back. Let me tell you a little bit of my story. Um, it's gonna be up close and personal, so I might as well tell it all. I grew up. My father was a preacher. My mom sings gospel music, and to be honest with you, was quite religious. And we take that subject a little bit later about the do's and don'ts and carrying on and all that. Because see, religion talks about what we shouldn't do and what we should do, and God talks about I'll accept you right where you are. See, that's a whole nother way of seeing life because most people think that they got to do the dance first in order to know God. No, 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 no. Some things you won't be able to change about yourself until you learn and have a relationship with God. Personally, that's how it happens for me, and that's what I'm selling. That's what I'm on. Hey, don't matter to me if you don't believe or not. He still loves you. That's real love. But anyway, I started off in church, and I used to hate church, man. We sit up in there, man, and it seemed like we were going every Sunday, and I got tired of going to Sunday. But you know what? My mom would get up and sing, and some of the singers in there, and I wanted to sing when I was young. You know, I was a closet singer. I wanted to be a singer, so it took a while before I got to where I am now. But the fact is that we sat in this church, and I would hear things, and it would vex my spirit. And even as a young kid, I'm like, well, I didn't, because I was reading the Bible while they were preaching, and I was watching people closely and how they acted, I was monitoring them, and actually I saw a lot of judgmental vibes in the church where you had to be perfect. So everybody was on this perfection thing. For me, that wasn't really church. So for me, faith had nothing to do with that. And sometimes you have to get to a place where you have to study for yourself, not just take in what you hear and see and take it as law. Weigh it up against your spirit. Does it feel right? Does it feel wrong? But at the same time, you got to be in a good place to be able to dictate whether it's right or wrong. A lot of things are going to be happening throughout the spirit realm, throughout the air. If the enemy is the prince of the air, that means anything that comes in. And if you're operating on emotions, then you're a target. So certain truths have to be established. One, that I am somebody, and God loves me, and he wants to use me. That's my truth. So I become unselfish when it becomes that way. So for me, like Martin Luther King says, the purpose of life is, what have you done for your neighbor? What have you done for somebody else? It can't be about you and only you. Ego for me means E-G-O, ease God out. For me, it's everything. So if you're sitting around here like, oh, I don't want to hear all that. Yeah, well, how was your life? Because believe me, it'll start whooping your ass if I say it correctly. If I say it correctly, and I tell you what I've been through. I think before we came here, we decided to come here and try to help people. And we got here and got pretty egotistical. You'd agree that the whole globe is pretty much on their own, and everybody thinks they know everything. That's not what this conversation is about. My conversation with you is basically me sharing who I am. The Odyssey of Conyer, up close and personal. My voyage, my journey, and my many turns of fortune. Things have not always been good. But as I stated earlier in my page, faith will be tested. Faith has to go to the gym room. It's just the way it is. And you have to look at your life and try to examine where you are and how you got there. And actually be methodical about your intake. Shit in, shit out. Be methodical about what happens around you. Be methodical about your friendships, your friends. Be careful what you take in. Be careful, because a voice, I'll give you an example. If I told you you were young, that you'd never be nothing, that voice can play over in your head and act out in your life. But if I had a mom or somebody who told you, oh, you are more than enough, you're a conqueror, you are this, you are that, uplifted you. In some way or form, you become what that word was. You become uplifted. So you have to understand words are powerful during these portals. They go straight to the soul. As a matter of fact, in the 60s and during the movement of my people, it was basically the music. They hated us, but they loved our music. So how can you hate somebody and love their music? So these are part of the changes that happen. And also Martin Luther King was very smart when he thought about putting everything on TV and going live. Because the people around the world got a chance to see what was happening in America and what democracy stands for. That's a whole nother subject I want to get back to. Faith and fear and your portals. Today, as I speak, I wish everybody up under the sound of my voice a blessed day. Let's start off with that. That's very important. It's very important that we bless today or curse today. The day can be cursed. If you wake up feeling bad, go back to sleep and try it all over again. Because it's very important. What I do personally, I ask God to order my steps. Order my steps. Give me something to do that's worthy of you, not me. That means I have to die in the process. Too many of us has too much ego, too much of us involved in anything. Of course, we are the body. At the same time, it's about really what you want to do and what you're doing. What is your purpose? Is it just about you? That's a very sad place. And that's a formula for depression, anxiety, and all kind of other forms of things that come with ego. Yeah, I keep talking about God because it's very important for me. Because that's the only thing I've tried. Listen, I've tried everything. I've tried every drug known to man except heroin. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend like I'm innocent on some shit. I have tried everything. Like I said, this is up close and personal and transparency. I have tried some stuff, and I've gotten stuck on some stuff, and I've been to some rehabs. You can't tell me what it's about, what life's about, because I've lived mine, and I've been through quite a few things. And I come to this one point. The only thing that changes a man from within is God. And also with not just believing, but actually being careful of your portals, of what you're taking in and what you're taking out. Right now, we're living in a pandemic situation, and you pumping that stuff into your head constantly, fear, 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 fear. Then all of a sudden, hey, you never know, this thing could be operating on that. Just the fact that you are afraid and you keep watching that, you're taking all that in. I can't remember what my friend said. Well, what did you say, Matt? What was the words it operates on?
Stress.
Your stress hormones. It might possibly be the reason for people being sick. If this is a spiritual entity, which I think it is. That's a whole other subject. We'll take that next week. But we're back to faith and fear. They are pumping this thing in. Of course, we want to actually know what's going on. But for me, I turned it off because I turned my volume of faith on. I believe God didn't take me this far. Of course, my faith is going to be on trial. But I don't think God took me this far to go through all this. And He took me this far so I can have knowledge on how to live my life and live it more abundantly. It's very important. So turn that stuff off and put something in your ear that talks about life, that speaks about you surviving. Talk about the people who have been through this and have survived. Not talk about death. And be careful when you do your live stream celebrating Corona, because that's what you're doing. When you say, oh, Corona this and Corona. Listen, later for all of that. If you don't believe me, do a search of your own thing. Monitor from morning and day what you take in on TV, what you hear on the radio, and what's going on and how it maneuvers your mood. I had a friend of mine who told me, his name was Olivier from France. He told me, I sold my TV and I read books. And I've been happy ever since. I don't want to go that far, but because I love my movies. But today I watch decent things on TV. I want to see people getting killed and murder and all that. Man, that actually vexes me, and I feel that. Of course, I like a little excitement, but you got to be very careful, very, very careful of your input. It's very important. It's very important. Staying dialed in. Staying dialed in. Oh, well, hold on. Let me just, of course, we're celebrating Stevie Wonder's 70 years birthday all month of May. I wanted to say happy birthday to Stevie one more time. I think he's a legend. Some of the stuff he sung about was straight, piercing straight to the soul. And it was never about nonsense. It was about the struggle. He's very, very about the struggle of my people. And instrumental in getting a lot of things done with his career. So he didn't use his career to be about only him. He took up on the whole thing on his shoulders about his people, and that for me is something that I personally think is artistry. Well, anyway, staying dialed in is very important. Like I said before, it's about the portals and staying dialed in. Once you get something that's working for you, stay with it. Also, one little thing I'd like to give you before I get on up out of here is that your imagination carries your future. If you can imagine yourself doing it and attach your faith into it, hope and faith is cousins, but if you can imagine yourself doing it and then have faith, because I mean, your faith is going to be on trial because many people around you are going to say, oh, you can't do it. You can't. That's what I'm saying. Select your friends very carefully. Very, very, very carefully. The eyes and the ears are portals. And the power of life and death is in the tongue. Declare something. Declare you're going to be successful. Declare that nothing's going to stop you. Declare that you are on point and that you're just fine the way you are. Declare these things over yourself. Declare these things over your kids. See what happens. See how that positive energy just starts vibrating throughout the house. Well, I think I probably said it enough already, that the power of life and death is in your tongue. What you're saying, what you're taking in, has everything to do with who we are. Keep in mind, we're just flesh attached to spirit. Well, my name is Derek Conyer. This has been the Odyssey of Derek Conyer, Up Close and Personal, my voyage and journey, and my many fortunes. I hope to see you next Wednesday, same time, same place, 8 o'clock. If nobody said it to you today, I'll say it to you. I love you, and I wish you well. Be blessed, my friend. We'll see you next time. All right? Over and out.